I came up with this question when I was going through and trying to form an opinion on Miami and what it needs to prove this year. You would know the answer to this better than me. Has Mario Cristobal ever had a quarterback that he made better?
Personally, has he ever had a quarterback that has gotten better?
Has he ever coached a quarterback?
Yeah.
That at the end of that quarterback's run, you said, wow, that quarterback improved under Mario's watch?
No, but I think, to be fair to Mario and the teams he coached, like, there's a lot out of his hands and there's a lot in his hands, right? He's the one responsible for coordinators. He's the one responsible for high leverage moments, fourth downs, red zone stuff, and, general vision for an offense as a head coach. And so Justin Herbert had incredible moments with Mario Cristobal. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Didn't necessarily get better, but in dealing with the situation where Willie Taggart leaves after a year, where Mark Helfrich, who recruited him, gets fired after a year with him after his freshman year, that it was just, progress was never going to be exactly linear for Justin Herbert. TVD showed some tendencies that were less than stellar and was coming off, injury, I believe, when Mario Cristobal took over. He got hurt pretty early on. That's not on Mario Cristobal that I know of.
He's been nicked up the last couple years.
And so dealing with backup quarterbacks, dealing with guys in and out of lineups, dealing with, a lot of transfers out, a lot of transfers in, like, I wouldn't characterize the last 3-4 years of Mario Cristobal's head coaching tenure, both at Miami and Oregon, with the term stability necessarily. Hey, sorry for the quick interruption, but it'd be incredible if you considered subscribing to the Solid Verbal YouTube channel right down below.
No, so I guess where I'm going with this is, if we're talking about what programs, in this case, what a coach needs to prove.
Yeah.
Is this not the moment for Mario Cristobal to prove that he can get the most out of a quarterback?
Yes, because it is.
Cam Ward's an NFL prospect. The only reason he didn't leave is probably because he wouldn't have been drafted high enough to justify it. But he very much has designs on going to the NFL in the 2025 draft. Mario needs to prove that he's not going to screw up Cam Ward first and foremost. And I think he needs to prove that he can make him better. He needs to prove that Miami can be a destination for players of that ilk who want to come and want to play at the next level, because that has really been sort of an Achilles heel the first 2 seasons for the Miami Hurricanes. I think we saw improvement last year. I'm not going to dunk on what he's trying to build down there. I think it did get better, but it still was average. And certainly the quarterback position remains a giant open question in Coral Gables. They need to get better at that position. Cam Ward gives them an opportunity to do so. It's an open question to me as to whether or not Mario Cristobal and the staff in place can get the most out of Cam Ward.
So growing offensive line, young, growing team in terms of age, right? Things have been young and inexperienced on that roster these past couple years. I just think for Miami right now, it's the end of like the excuse period. We're talking about 3 portal classes, 3 high school classes, although obviously the first one was a last second class. And so we're talking about Mario players being upperclassmen-ish. And so to me, it's just going to be like a culture vision day-to-day thing. Like, no games off, no quarters off, no halves off, no series is off, no high leverage moment. What the hell are you doing at the end of this game off?
No.
And so for some of the forward steps Miami took last year, and they returned, 1,000-yard receiver in Xavier Restrepo. Like, there are pieces there. The running game was fine last year. It wasn't dominant, but you could see progress. They lose key players on defense, whatever. Prove it is just every week, everybody's on the same page. The coaching staff is on the same page. You're not making dumb mistakes, and the vision is there, and the vision is not, wandered away from. And it's prove that you are capable of leading a winning program. They can go 9-3 and absolutely prove it. Yeah. But at this point, like, it's the same thing with Deion Sanders. Like, a big win for Miami is us just not talking about Mario Cristobal. A big win for us with Colorado is just like, oh man, look at this guy who stepped up on defense. Look at this receiver who's like an absolute killer for Colorado. Like, the less we talk about Deion Sanders, the less we talk about Mario Cristobal, the better for both of these places.
I feel like Mario has built up a pretty good base of talent It has improved since he got
Sure,
there.
of course.
That is one of the selling points for hiring this guy to begin with. He
Yeah.
is a
Oh
dogged
man,
recruiter.
Bane on the defensive line. Yeah.
He is a very, very talented recruiter. He's always been. So talent acquisition is not so much the issue. Assembling those pieces, getting the most out of those pieces is where we're at. I agree. It is the end of the excuse era if you're a Miami football fan and you want to see some results and not lose to Rutgers in a bowl game, presumably.